But I do list a lot of the most popular social media sites. A yellow light means, use your judgment, but be cautious. I have some green lights too, and then some yellow lights, and then I have some red lights. Red lights, I'm not in favor of these because I've seen too much destruction on them. Kick is a very popular one, and there's a lot of drug hookups and hookups for sex, things like that on Kick because you can do anonymous texting. Yik Yak is also really popular among the college students, and that's location specific, so you can kind of do a broadcast to find out what other kind of Yik Yackers are in your vicinity and meet up with them that way. Dangerous. WhatsApp is unmonitorable, so that's an SMS texting service that also has images and videos. So that means that your kids can text an image and share, and it's not traceable. It's encrypted on both ends. So, the good news is it doesn't charge up data on their plan. The bad news is it's super sneaky. Whisper is just mean. It's just a gossip site. Ask FM, I told you about. Boxer. So there's so many, I can't actually possibly list them. There's also a lot of hookup sites. So my 30-day program, that one has a much more extensive list. So anyway, my attorneys made me do this because unlike Dr. Phil, who released his license smartly, because if you are licensed in the state of California, you have a lot of restrictions to your license. Like I'm not allowed to give individual answers to individual people without bringing them into my office and going over an office policies form, unless I tell you that this is for information and entertainment purposes only. This is not a therapeutic relationship. I'm not giving you advice on your specific family situation. You're not a client, and I need a lot more background. So if I didn't even have a degree or I didn't have a license, I could give you all the advice I want. But because I have a PhD and a license, I'm not allowed to, which is a little bit irritating. Even on the phone, I can't do one-to-one consults because I called them and I bullied them, and they were like, no, like you put your license at risk if you talk to your subscribers directly, which is a bummer, right? So I'll do webinars and do it that way. But just so you know, I have to be careful the way I answer. So I rushed through because I wanted to leave at least 15 minutes for a specific question and answer. So when I answer, it's a general answer. So any questions about anything I said or anything that you're concerned about in your home? Yeah?
What do you think about Musically, the app? Is it red? Is it yellow?
Musically.
Is it
So
orange?
Musically app, my understanding is it's super popular right now, and it's kids doing videos. It's like karaoke online.
Little 14-second fast.
Yeah, 14-second
clips.
quick videos, and there's all kinds of editing options, and it's super fun. Well, my 12-year-old is after me for Musically because he's a music lover, and I won't allow it right now. That's just my decision with my family because here's the truth. Those videos go up, and anybody has access to them. It's the same. I feel the same way about Musically that I do about YouTube channels. That kids can really use them as a forum for creativity, and it can be super awesome and super fun form of entertainment. But you just have to understand that anybody has access to those images of your child if you're on it. So it's very popular. I think most kids on it are going to be absolutely fine, and it's not that big of a deal. But it's still their video image, and it's up so that strangers can access it. And I have concern about that for my kids in particular because I'm a public figure now. So I would say do a persuasive PowerPoint. My 12-year-old, I've kept him off it because he won't do his PowerPoint. It was an easy no for me. I didn't even have to make a decision. Any other questions? Yeah.
Have you heard of something called, it's just a website, but it's scratchmit.edu. It's like a programming website for kids. My son is 8, and he's like, all my friends are creating these little animated videos in Scratch, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I've looked at it myself, but I can't figure out if it appears safe or not, or...
Does it have a chat feature?
It has a comment feature, not a chat feature, so you can comment and follow someone, like if he knows his friend's username, he can follow his animations and like write like cool or
And
whatever.
it's a public comment
And it's
section?
public comments, and that's the part that concerns me because I'm like, well, what are you going to be reading about people? You know, what are people going to be saying?
So,
I don't
does
know.
anybody else know about Scratch or have anything to add? Do you know anything, do you want to add anything from what she said?
I don't know much about the social media side of it, but I mean, from an education perspective, it's
okay.
it's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so, it sounds like it's a lot like Instagram.
Yeah, it's
except
run by-
It's an animation, so you wouldn't have to worry about their personal image.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can monitor comments.
Right.
But you have to be prepared to monitor comments.
Right.
I mean,
it's run by MIT, so I'd be surprised if they don't have some sort of monitoring over that for appropriateness that
Oh,
you could
yeah.
look to see if it has that.
Okay.
I don't know if it does, but they might.
yeah. So that's one of those that it's worth doing a research
Sure.
dig for.
I'll let you know if I find out.
Yeah, do, would you?
Yeah.
Actually, I could really use you guys' help in lots of ways. Like one is go on my Get Kids Internet Safe Facebook page, right, and share it with your friends. The bigger platform I have, the better access I have to the big guys like Teen Safe. That's how I got to them. And also, if you read an article and you have a reaction to it, whether it's good or bad, email me and tell me. Like if it offends you, or I have one say that one was bordering on offensive, and I was like, cool, tell me why. Because sometimes I don't mind, because that means I got a response from somebody, and that's okay. And other times I just want to hear feedback because I want to give my subscribers what they need, right? And I'm a one-man show still because I haven't made money because I haven't launched a product because I'm too busy doing everything for free, which I'm super happy to do. But eventually I'm going to have to charge people so that I get staff to help me with this stuff. And I'm right on the surface of that. So please share with your friends and family and give me feedback. Email me anything you can. That's helpful. Yeah.
Have you heard of Circle by Disney? It's a proxy product for home.
No, Circle? No.
Yeah, it's
See,
relatively
I can't
new.
keep up with all this stuff. It's too much.
It's a device that you buy
Mhm.
that acts as a proxy filter at home to be able to turn on and off internet access by
Oh,
app and by.
I did
device.
see this advertised. Have you bought one?
No, we're thinking about it though.
Yeah, so there's a lot of those coming out right now. I have another one, but it's in patent. It's called the dinner spot or something, where, at dinner you push the button and then everybody's apps immediately go off, or
Yeah,
their
that-
screens go off. Or
So
something.
our pack thing is fantastic.
Yeah, our pact is one of my favorites, and it's free. That's on my
It's-
cheapest tech list.
Yeah. and
So
it's-
if you get Circle, will
Yeah.
you write me
Mhm.
and tell me if you like it or not, and then I can offer it to my subscribers? Yeah, that'd be helpful.
How do you handle situations when an inappropriate photo of your child goes out that wasn't taken by them or was posted to somebody's account and they're not, you know what I mean? I feel like you can give your kid all the controls and all the safety precautions and not give them a device or whatever, but that doesn't stop, like, the photo from going. Like, how do you fix that when that happens?
You don't. If it happened at school, the school administrators can sometimes track it down and take it off. If it's an inappropriate image, you can call law enforcement. But short of that, there's nothing you can do unless you can contact that child or their parents. And you have to be careful about contacting parents. You'd be surprised how defensive parents get, and sometimes it actually makes the problem much worse. So, yeah, I mean, that horse is out of the barn. It's really difficult once an image goes out to pull it back in. It's
But
really
I mean, if
difficult, unless you have that relationship.
individual's able to delete it, is it ever really gone?
Yeah, once it's screenshot, it's good
Yeah.
to go. That's like with Snapchat. The problem with Snapchat is it's a social media app that's image and video driven. So, like, I'd snap a picture of myself and send it out to all my Snap friends, or I could do it publicly. And then it comes on their screen, they get a little notification, and you push it, and it shows that image or that video. And it's really actually fun to use, and it's usually used quite innocently. I love keeping up with the 20-somethings because, and then you can stitch together those images and their videos and put it on my story that stays up for 24 hours. So you tap it, and it shows this edited version of all these different images and videos of what they've done that day, which is really cool because you get to see, and then you can edit it, you can write on it and put little photos, and it's cool. But the problem with Snapchat is that it looks like that image disappears forever. So if I do a stupid picture of myself and I send it out, I think, well, people are just going to look at it and then poof, it goes away forever, and I don't have to worry about it. But the truth is, you can screenshot it, and then you have it forever. Now, it used to be, and it still is, that if you screenshot, you can tell on Snapchat that somebody screenshot it, so you know they took a picture. But now there's third-party apps that you can download, take a screenshot, and it won't show. So you never really know if somebody screenshot it and kept it. And so a lot of nudes go out that way because they think it's a quick, cute little nude picture like Kardashian did, and then it goes away, but it never goes away. And you don't know, once it's out, it's out. And the Darknet is a really eye-opening book in that regard because, in 2008, the FBI released a statement that they felt like they really had control over the child pornography industry because there were a limited number of images and they had locked them down and gotten control over them. And since that time, it has blown up astronomically and they've lost control completely now. And it's all because of the internet sharing and self-produced images. And now they're using it for human trafficking. I've gotten some, my subscribers and my friends all send me stuff, so I'm constantly bombarded by terrible content. And I just got one a little bit ago from the Camarillo Police Department. The 16-year-old went out to the park and met somebody she met on one of those sites, and it was an attempted rape. Luckily, it was interrupted. But that's human trafficking is what they're doing. They're recruiting vulnerable youth to meet them, and then they've got them, and then they put them into the sex trade. And that's happening here to our kids in our neighborhood, and it doesn't have to be a vulnerable youth necessarily. It can just be somebody who was born one day and they used it, somebody catfished it by using an image of a hot guy and talked them into it, and before you know it, they're meeting them at the park. So it's worth being intrusive and monitoring when they're young in particular. Then as they learn their skills, then you back off. So I do Teen Safe on mine, but I don't read every text my daughter writes because I would want to die. It's really boring reading those texts. But I do spot check them often, and she knows it. And I tell her, I'm a really firm believer in being super honest right from the beginning. A lot of parents spy on the back channel. And I have a lot of experts debate me about this, and they say if you tell your kid they're monitored, then you're not going to find stuff out because they're not going to actually say it on their phone. They're going to communicate it other ways. So at least if you don't tell them, you'll get a lot of information you need. But I talk to a lot of parents that don't do that, and then they interrupt very intimate information that you never want to read about your child. And now what are you going to do? If you talk to them about it, they're going to know you've been spying, and there goes that alliance that you worked so hard to build. And you really don't want to be holding that kind of information silently. It's devastating. I'm not even going to tell you stories. I told the last people a story, and I think it upset my audience. So, more than I do already. So, my recommendation is you be super honest. And, I think it teaches them virtual accountability anyway. If they know that mom's reading stuff, then they know to think before they say it. Because I'm not the only one reading. All the other parents are reading it too. And so are the school administrators. And so are college application future employers. So I just want them to know anything they put on their phone, I have access to. And so does a lot of other people that we don't even know about. So it's kind of that extra buffer between think before you post. So I think you should tell.
I do think that what really is at the core here is this trust that you need to have with your child, because no matter what, they're going to find a different avenue. Like you say, technology goes like this. It's going to be, you think you're monitoring this site, well, they're onto something else that's way beyond what you even knew about. And building the trust in the kids at dinner time, everybody's around the table, and the other activities to do during the day, so it's not like they're just sitting at home alone with nothing to do. The thought of monitoring my child to this degree is very daunting to me, and so is there, that avenue where you've built this trust and you've given them the tools to know what's right and wrong, so that it's, you're hoping that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's about moderation, like with anything. If you are overly intrusive and you read every single thing they do and you comment on everything and you take over, you're gonna damage that alliance.